Hello flower friends, welcome to day 2 of the World Cup Floral Art here in The Hague. We have a very exciting day today. The competitors have to make 2 arrangements. One arrangement is based on the Dutch coastline and the other arrangement is a hand-tied bouquet in a frame. And they were allowed to make the frame beforehand, but they did not know what kind of flowers they were getting. So that's going to be very interesting, I think. So let's go inside and find out. So the competitors are already busy for half an hour. They have 1.5 hours for this task in total. So let's see what they are doing right now. So for the first task today, they need to design an arrangement using Oasis biodegradable foam, and the design needs to be inspired by the Dutch coastal protection and water management. The maximum size for the width and depth is 120 centimeters by 120 centimeters, and the height is 190 centimeters maximum. They are allowed to bring their own construction. Restriction number 1 is that the pre-construction must remain visible. That's the wooden pole that you can see in the middle. At least 50% of the materials must be fresh and embedded in foam. For example, here we have Magdalena from Croatia. She's working on her first task of the day. You can see the structure with the looks like plastic. We can see down below over there that she's crumpled up the Oasis floral foam to look like it's sand, so to make a reference to the beach. I'm noticing a pattern with the Chinese competitor, with Nishi. We can see that he likes to have the vocal area on top and he loves creating depth. So again, this design has a lot of depth. It's very interesting to see, creates a lot of layers, so every time there's something interesting to see. We can still see the wooden pole very well, and we see very clearly what elements he brought himself. So they are allowed to drill inside the wooden pole, but they're not allowed to cut the wooden pole or anything. So that's quite interesting to see how they approach it and how they work with that. So Franca is working hard right now. And who better to make a Dutch coastline arrangement than an actual Dutch person? So we can see here her interpretation using driftwood and using actual sand at the base. It feels like a lovely field of flowers. I like the proportion, the doses, the 1/3 there, 2/3 over there. So proportionally very nice. Colors of the Margin Par product is amazing. So every flower inside here I think is from Margin Par. That's part of the task. We have Delphinium, we have Flux, we have Scabiosa, there is Pennisedum, and there's of course Polyanthus. So really nice assortment of flowers. It seems like Frederik's booth is again very busy. So let's have a look at how he's doing. I haven't seen his work yet today, though I know his concept a little bit. We can see a structure made with wire and paper mache, simulating birds' nests, which is something that Frederik often does. He will use natural materials to replicate shapes, organic shapes found in nature as well. You can see actual seaweed from the North Sea. Angelica and I have been hunting the beach for that all summer, and it's dried up and we shipped it to Frederik. And it's very nice to see the garland that he made of it. I knew he wanted to use it, but I didn't know what he wanted to use it for, so that's really cool. And then we can see the dried dandelion in there, and the structure is very layered, very nice. And then we have a lot of parallel lines, again, which is Frederik's specialty, creating parallel arrangements. So the parallel of the wooden pole is strengthened by the parallel of the bamboo that we can see. There's a couple of varieties of bamboo inside, and then of course the parallel lines of the Margin Par product. Everyone has 15 minutes remaining. Claudia is doing a great job. She's also choosing to do a parallel design, but she's going diagonal. So she's parallel line order, diagonal movement. We have about 90% diagonal lines and this one giant, strong, firm parallel pole. We can see that she's accentuating the parallel pole with the parallel wire that she has over there, and then the sea urchins that are stacked upon each other. So that's a very smart way to make a callback to the pole. So we can see that the barrier has been moved outwards, and that's because these structures have to be moved out of the room because they have to be judged in another room. So now you know it's vital that your technique is strong and it has to remain very stable and movable. task number 4 has already begun. We have Sala Halla over here. The assignment for this one is a hand-tied bouquet. They were allowed to prepare the frame in advance, but they did not know what kind of flowers they would get. So they just saw the flowers, I think, last night. They have to deal with what they have. The theme is rose gold, so that's kind of interesting with the flowers that they have right now. But I feel like Sala has already selected a nice selection in the back, which fits all with the color scheme of the theme. So that's going to be interesting. That was the end of day 2 of the World Cup Floral Art here in The Hague. It was an incredibly exciting day. It was really incredible to see all the different designers make the choices that they made, especially with the hand-tied bouquet, with the stuff that they had and what they were going to incorporate and what they weren't going to incorporate into their bouquet. Tomorrow is the last day of the World Cup. This is going to be even more exciting because we're going to see who is going to make it to the final 10. Actually, Jens Gates was asking how is it going to work with the scoring and everything, where can we follow the scoring and how is it going with the finals, semi-finals, etc. So it's actually very unusual, but we have 23 competitors. Tomorrow they have one more assignment, then it's going to be just the final 10. There's no final 5, no final 3, just the final 10. The final 10 will go on stage, and that's it. After the final 10 have been duking it out on the stage, there will be one winner, and I'm really looking forward to see how it goes.